Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Comic Book Users. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Cover alongside my co-host and partner in crime over here.
Hey, comic book fans. I am Wild Bill, the Unknown Comic. Thanks for coming back for another episode of Comic Book Users. I'm going to be taking over this one with a little Inside the Cover story of The Mighty Thor, issue 261. This one is a Whitman variant.
Quick quiz for everybody. Why is Bill? What is significant about this particular issue here? Bill, why don't you tell him, Bill? This is one of the first...
3 comics that started my comic book collection.
That's right.
All 3 Whitman variants, too. Iron Man 100 and Hulk 213.
Yep.
Already did Hulk 213 Inside the Cover, so now I'm tackling the second of 3.
Will Iron Man 100 be in the not-too-distant future?
Maybe in 100 days.
Yeah, you never know. Let's see.
Could be. So, this one is John Buscema and Frank Giacomo art. Right on the cover.
Yep.
And inside you have... Oh, it's written by Len Wein. Len Wein? I always say it right.
Yeah, wine. I always say wine.
Yeah. Walt Simonson and Ernie Chen on the inside.
Yeah.
Ernie Chen does the inks and the finished art. So when I bought this book, this was like reading Shakespeare. But Thor is on this... This was weird because I didn't really know much about Thor. But I expected him to be on Earth, and here he's like on a space... He's like on a Viking ship sailing around through outer space.
Yeah, this is this big long journey, this trippy, big long arc.
It's trippy already, you know?
Yeah.
So it's the wall around the world. But they're in outer space, you know?
Yeah, they're in space.
So I'm like, this, you know, artwork was great, but that's art's like reading Shakespeare. And when I was 14, that's art did not...
Yeah, it was hard.
It took a long... It was a chore to get through this book, man, when you're 14.
And this run in Thor was very wordy. Like,
yes.
There's a lot of dialogue here, so as you can see...
It's just
here,
like... This was like homework. Man, this felt like homework. Man.
And what makes it more difficult to read when you're a kid is, like, all the characters are in these issues. So you got Lady Sif, you got...
And there's a lot of jumping around.
Volstaff, Fandral, Hogan, you got the recorder here.
You got a wealth of information flying at me.
It's a lot of people.
So basically you got Thor, Lady Sif, and I forget who else.
Balder, Volstaff, Fandral, and Hogan.
But they're split up. They
do split up, yep. So.
That's how it starts off. I'm trying to spit that out. This guy.
Yep, Fandral,
right? So...
He, I think, in the Warriors
Thor
3.
and his friends, Lady Sif, and I forget who the hell else is with him. Is it Fandral?
It's all the Warriors.
Fandral, right?
They're all there. Hogan's there too.
There's his other friends are off watching Thor. There's this evil dude watching.
Yeah.
And it's also got the fat guy with him, I think. Falstaff?
Falstaff, yeah.
Anyway, they disappear. And is Lady Sif.
That's the Queen of the Norns right there, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. Who has a thing for Balder, always has.
So then these mechanoids attack Thor and his friends, and we got Star Wars.
That's right.
Star Wars,
first issue of Tarzan.
So the weird part about this story is Thor and his friends are trying to bust in to the wall around the world, and when they wake up after battling these mechanoids, they wake up inside the wall around.
They got in, made the breach.
Yep.
Look at that cool Adventures of Wood shirt, right? Look at that. Give it up for that.
So
these mechanical tentacles and things. Yeah.
They become imprisoned. Thor, Lady Sif, and then these guys, they reveal themselves at the end. And now you have the recorder, Hogan
and Volstaff.
They were watching from Asgard what was going down here, so they know something is amiss. But messing up the whole story.
Well, you know what it is? This is the middle of a really long story arc. So it's like, most people are probably just as confused as we are, because unless you've read this one recently. I remember I read this like a couple of years ago. And
I read the Cliff Notes last night, and I can't remember all of it. But the ones that were off in Asgard watching, they disappeared. Like, they got, like, beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah.
So there's other evil forces at work.
So it's the Doomsday Star. That's what this is.
Yeah. That's what the Wall Around the World is about,
Yeah.
the Doomsday stuff.
Yeah.
But it's in this part of the story, the pack has been split up because you got the Recorder and Volstagg, the fat guy.
Yep.
Right, and Hogan. They're off watching Lady Sif, Thor, and Fandral do battle with these mechanoids.
And Balder.
Yeah, and you got this other evil being, this bad guy, who hasn't been revealed.
I forget his name too.
This guy?
Yeah. What the hell was he called?
He's up to no good though. But when I was 14, I was like, "What the hell, man?"
As you can see, a lot of dialogue here.
Yes,
a lot of dialogue.
Great artwork.
Oh yeah.
Very far fetched. I wasn't expecting Thor to be so over the top with science fiction. This was extreme science fiction when I was reading. This was more intense than the Hulk and the Iron Man. You would think Iron Man is science fiction, with the metal suit and the circuits and flying and all that. This, I was thinking like Thor might be, when I saw these, I thought, first of all, the cover's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but I thought this was New York City.
Nope.
But,
well, they took a long break here in Thor because, most of the earlier issues were either on Asgard or on Earth. And this whole storyline and then the whole Eternal storyline, which came right after it and lasted like 18 issues, was all in outer space.
Yeah.
It was all like cosmic stuff.
But this was deep. Man.
Oh, yeah.
And for 14 years old, this was deep. I can't even spit it out. I should have did my home. I read this, like the Cliff Notes about this like twice already. And it's just like
It's a long arc.
It's tough doing these things for me because I wear the shades as like part of my act. And they're like, well, just take the shades off. No. Nope. Not doing it. I got to write notes, but I didn't get around to it. I had a lot to do. I had to do some drawings, do some finishing touches. But
it might be worthwhile to pull out a couple of these, the issue or two before and a couple after, and maybe doing a whole run of Inside the Covers and successive episodes on this, because this is a very good storyline, but it's so involved.
Yeah,
like
that's
most
a lot
people,
of homework.
It's a lot of homework, but a lot of viewers are probably watching this episode and they're like, "Oh, I'm not really sure what's going on," but it's a really long, convoluted story.
This was the only Thor in my collection for a long time.
Could you imagine? I mean, that's kind of crazy. That's the only one.
Yeah, but then in the early 90s or anywhere between when I stopped collecting when I got into college, but when I started buying again, I guess was the late 80s, early 90s. If I saw Thors or Fantastic Fours out in like gift shops or antique shops, I'd pick them up. And I had like maybe 8 or 9 Thor issues, and they were all like in the 120s and 130s, and the Fantastic Fours were like in the 120s to the 140s. But they were, I was getting them for $1.50. Back then they were, it was still cover priced at 20 cents. So they were all fantastic artwork,
Yeah.
But now reading Thor, being a little bit older, it is a good read. It really
I was
is.
like you. I stayed away from Thor I bought some issues here and there, but I didn't buy a ton because as a kid, it was like, man, I just
And you got guys like Walt Simonson and Ernie Chan. As great as they are, man. I mean, it's just phenomenal artwork, And again, it's a John Buscema cover, Frank Giacola. So this was, John Buscema is another guy that can pull you right in with his covers,
Yeah.
So I'm still proud to have it as this is one of the books that kicked off my collection. Even though I wasn't a fan of the story on the inside, I still loved the cover. I kept it. I never traded it away. It was just the sentimental value of this. This is what comics are all about. So, I kept it. It was part of the trio, the 3 books that my mom bought for me when I first started collecting at 13 years old, And it wasn't even books at that time were 35 cents. So when I went to go buy my next comics off the shelf, they were 35 cents. I was like, nope. They went up again.
Surprise!
Yeah, they went up again. Damn
it.
Inflation.
I only have enough for 2 now.
Anyway, that's this edition of Comic Book Geezers Inside the Cover with Thor 261. I'm Wild Bill saying I hope you like this episode. Please click the like button. We need you to help. We need you to do that. Thanks.
That's right.
Thank you for your subscriptions. Please click the notification bell so you can be kept in the loop every time we have a new video. I'm Wild Bill saying, as always, thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on Comic Book Geezers.
And I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Remember, please do hit that like button, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.